As it turns out, the Snow White story wasn't actually created by the Grimm brothers or Disney. Believe it or not, there's a real-life Snow White inspiration. Marguerite von Waldeck, a German noblewoman living in the 16th century, her tough life, evil stepmom, and poison gift supposedly helped shape the whole Snow White narrative.
Whether you're dancing with dwarfs or simply biting the apple, it says, "I'm a princess for now."
Here's a chronological journey through the notable Snow White adaptations in movies and TV shows.
Have you ever had true love's kiss? Ew, barf!
Snow White, 1916. The 1916 silent film Snow White, starring Marguerite Clark, features impressive special effects in a black and white world. The film starts with an unusual prologue featuring Santa Claus, which was a nod to the Christmas release date of the movie in 1916. The film then follows the classic story as we know it. This film in particular was fondly remembered years later by Walt Disney, who saw it as a teenager and found inspiration to make movies. Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937. The vivid colors of the movie were a groundbreaking achievement in animation history. Snow White, 1987. A live-action Snow White starring Diana Rigg and Sarah Patterson is a 1987 American musical fantasy film based on the classic fairy tale and released as part of the Canon Movie Tales series.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of us all?
Snow White, 1997. Unlike the traditional fairy tale adaptations, Snow White, A Tale of Terror took a dark and gritty approach to the story, adding horror and suspense elements to the narrative.
Cat got your tongue.
Sigourney Weaver played the evil stepmom, and the film delved deep into psychological aspects. Snow White, the Fairest of Them All, 2001. Mixing old with new, this version spiced up the tale with more magic and twists. New characters and adventures were introduced, but the heart of Snow White stayed true.
Taste it, beautiful girl.
The film features Kristen Cruick in the role of Snow White, alongside a cast that includes Miranda Richardson as Queen Elspeth, Snow White in Shrek III. Snow White first makes her entrance in Shrek 3, voiced by Amy Poehler. Her character is a far cry from the traditional damsel in distress. In this rendition, she's a sassy and confident princess.
You're too kind, Snow, but I can't accept this.
Oh, think nothing of it. I've got 6 more at home.
2012 saw 2 Snow White adaptations, and they couldn't be more different from each other. Snow White and the Huntsman, 2012. Snow White goes action hero. Kristen Stewart kicked some butt and became a warrior princess.
You are the fairest, but there is another destined to surpass you.
Charlize Theron embodied the malevolent Queen Ravina, and Chris Hemsworth added a rugged charm as the Huntsman. Mirror, Mirror, 2012. Ever wondered what Snow White would be like with a dose of humor? This movie's got your answer.
Her hair is not black, it's raven, and she's 18 years old, and her skin has never seen the sun, so of course it's good.
Julia Roberts played the funny, wicked queen, and Lily Collins as Snow White. It brought a fresh and comedic spin to the Snow White narrative, embracing playful reimaginings of classic elements while introducing a charming and empowered Snow White.
I was the same size.
From a medieval anime twist in Snow White with the red hair, 2015 to 2016, to Snow White hanging out with a whole bunch of other fairy tale characters in Once Upon a Time, 2011 to 2018, the adaptations kept coming. Here's a new live-action Snow White in the making. The live-action remake of the classic Walt Disney's 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
The upcoming film will feature Rachel Zegler taking on the iconic role and Gal Gadot portraying the evil queen, all brought to life with a screenplay by Greta Gerwig.